Hey everybody, this is me, the Viking. This is Cosmic Colonies. Cosmic Colonies is a game for 2 to 5 people in which each person is going to be taking on the role of a asteroid developer. Each person will be trying to build up different types of buildings on their asteroid and trying to cover up as much of it as they possibly can. And by doing so, they will do a better job than everybody else does with building up their particular asteroid. And then this is Iago. That's who we heard just mewing just a second ago. Whoever does the best job at that will be declared the winner. It isn't like a worker placement game, it's more like a worker activation game with some card drafting-esque mechanisms as well. You have a hand of 4 cards, and on those 4 cards are different workers, and those workers then will be activated by placing them in front of you and then revealing them at the same time as everybody else. Every worker will have a number on it, and the lower the number is, the sooner you will go in a particular round. So like if you have a 1, you'll go first, the next person's a 2, 3, 4, or it could be like a 5, a 7, an 11, and a 19, or what have you. And this is a aspect of a game that I played it in other games, I think Battle Cruisers was a game like that, Libertalia, a game that I really enjoyed. I just like that aspect of the game when you're trying to figure out what you think the other players are going to be doing. And because of the fact that you're actually going to be shuffling these cards around, you're going to have an idea of what is in other people's hands. And you're going to want to kind of plan for that and kind of maybe expect certain cards to be played in comparison to the card that you are going to put in front of you. So there's a lot of a little bit of a tension moment there. I've always liked reveal moments of turning cards over and seeing what other people are doing. And plus, this isn't a garden game. Yes, it sounds like it is because everybody's building their own little asteroid, and whoever's got the best asteroid wins. This is not, as I said, it is not a garden game. This is definitely has a lot of interaction between everybody else. People have different workers they can place that actually mess with other players. So I do like that aspect of it. Let me show you how the game is played. I'll come back here and I'll give you my final thoughts on this fun game. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to play Cosmic Colonies. Now, I'm going to show you a 4-player game. Now, there are some slight differences as far as having multiple players, as far as, the 2 to 5 number that they have for the player number for the game. But, for the most part, there's 4 starting resources in each one of the bins to begin with in the game. With 4 and 5 players, there will be 2 tiles of each type available to purchase. And also, just with 2 players, the card drafting aspect of the game, which really truly isn't exactly card drafting, but you're passing cards along, that will have a slightly different rule set as well. But just functionally, the game plays the same all for all the different number of players, 2 to 5. And something that I really appreciate. There's nothing I dislike more than having a game that I really like, and then I get to game night and there's 5 people, and it's well, this game's only for 2 to 4, so I guess we can't play this, and then you have to play something else. So when games have a wider variety of player numbers, I appreciate that about it. Alright, so each person's going to get their asteroid that they're going to create. You do get several of these boards, and they are all different. See, you can see here, look at how this asteroid's set up, and then look at how this asteroid's set up. You can tell that it is slightly different, and these will be handed out randomly. Also, there are, and you might be able to see down here, there's the A side, and then the other side, there is the B side. Now, technically, the B side is more difficult than the A, so if you're playing the first time, strongly suggested that you use the A side when you play. Also, I should mention that there are there's the I hate the word novice or beginner cards, but there are the advanced set of cards here and the normal set of cards here. It's strongly, once again, suggested that you use these the first time. I'm going to demo the game for you here, but I will touch on the advanced cards here towards the end. So there are, as I said, there are 4 resources of each type in each bin. I want to mention also that this is a prototype that I was given, but I
I really like the fact that these are just cubes. Like here, these are crystals, these are discs, these are these little pyramids, these are these like translucent yellow cubes. It would have been really easy just to have those as just being all cube resources, but having some cool little colors and things like that is neat. As you can see, this is the round marker up here. Game lasts 8 rounds. You know, and each round plays exactly the same. All right, so at the beginning of the game, each player is going to get one of these cards. Like this one has like a 2 for this like type of like building that you're going to be putting on your asteroid. That has a 1. At the end of the game, you'll get bonus points for each 2 points for each one of these that you create. You'll get 1 bonus point for each one of these that you create. And as you can probably guess, these will be different for each one. And this is kept secret, as you can probably guess, because those are those extra points that you'll be getting at the end of the game. Obviously, if you kind of specialize in a certain type of building, people might get the idea that that's the one that you're going to be going for. All right, so then also, these are the worker cards. And these cards have a few different stats on them that are important when you play. There's this number up on the top here. Depending upon the other cards that are played by the other players, this will determine when you get to take your action. So like, and it is in ascending order. So like, and they numbered 1 through 20. So like the 1 will go, then the 2 will go, 3, so on and so forth. This number down here tells you if you want to collect resources, that's how many resources they can carry. And this is their action here. So like this one says before action, gain 1 yellow from the supply. This is just the electrical engineer before they take their action. And that could be a collecting action where they collect resources, or a building action. So they get to do that regardless to wherever. So just, you know, kind of, I already shuffled these up a little bit, but I'm just going to do this. And I'm just going to give myself, because everybody's going to have 4 cards. And so let me move these out of the way. So technically, I like I said, we're playing a 4-player game, and I'll just put the other 3rd player here, and like the 4th player there. All right, you're going to have cards left over. These are just gotten rid of. So players can't count on like, oh, I know that card A or X or whatever is going to be available to me, and we'll just go. So as I said, the game plays pretty quick, pretty understandable. Let's just look at the cards I got here. This is a warehousing expert. Collect. You may hold more than 9 resources in your warehouse. After your next action, discard down to 9 resources. This is a good reminder to me that as you collect resources in your warehouse here, there is this little less than or equal to 9, obviously then. And this is one of those classic games where if the rules state something different than the card says something different than the rules, the card takes precedent. And then so here we have like collector drones, where on a collect action, instead of a normal collect action, collect 1 token from each location with 2 or more tokens. And it has a collect 4. Philanthropist here is after your action, you must give 1 of your resources to another player if able. Notice he has a carry of 5. And here we have our logistics expert. And it says, before your action, you may move a tile on your asteroid. It must still be adjacent to another tile. Now, that's another thing that like breaks the rules slightly. Normally, when you place a tile onto your asteroid, it can't be moved. But here we have a worker that's going to break that rule for you. So you're going to take one of these things, and like what you're going to be looking at is you're going to be kind of guessing what you're going to want to do. Are you going to want to collect resources? Are you going to want to try to build something right away? And you're going to have to do that. Now, most of these things, like you're not going to be able to, like it's going to be difficult to build anything, because everything takes at least 2 of a single color. So like up here, you might be able to see if it's like 2 blue and a yellow here. This is 2 blue and 2 yellow. Obviously, like when you're building, this one's easier to build. All these will have color coordination. The only difference are these 2 long ones here. These are 2 of one color and 1 of a different color. And this is 2 of one color and 2 of another color. So that's how you build those. And you can see it's slightly different. But regardless, I'm just going to pick one because I'm probably going to collect on this turn. So I'm going to want to have a one that has a collection of at least 4. Like, you know, so, and maybe something that I'm going to, like, I can collect a lot, like with this one here. And I'm going to choose that because it's got specially a collect. Instead of a normal collect action, collect 1 token from each location with 2 or more tokens. So I'm going to hope that that's going to be useful for me. And I'm going to put that, now they put face down, and then you wait for everybody else to choose one as well. No, I'm not going to look at these. I'm just going to take one randomly from each one. I don't know what I'm going to end up with. And now I should mention that you are going to take 2 actions when on your turn. And those 2 cards that you pick are going to be passed to the player on your left. So just keep in mind that like the cards you play, you're going to lose. So everybody turns their card over. I have a 15, as I said. Let's see, I got a 6 over here. Let's see what I got. A 14 over there, and a 5 over here. Now, everybody can kind of take a moment to say, oh, you know, kind of look at what everybody else has picked, and now you can kind of logistically try to decide what you are planning on doing. So let's just see here. I don't know, I mean, like I said, I did this randomly. So artist, before action, you can build this little 1 spot onto your asteroid. So maybe like they were going to collect, but only collect 2, but they wanted to build, you know, one of these little 1 spot guys. Normally you can't build those unless you have a card that allows you to do so. So they do that, but then they're going to collect resources. They can take 2 from somewhere. Let's say they take 2 yellows. Just take those off like so. And then we go with the 6 over here. I'm going to go last. This is going to stink. So let's see here. So here they have, like banker, spend 1 fewer resource to build. So now, like, because of that, maybe they can build this because they have a blue and a yellow. It's 1 less resource. They take that and they place that onto their asteroid. Pretty cool idea that they had there. And then we get over here to the collector bots. You must collect as your action, collecting from the resource location with the most resources. If multiple are tied, you choose which one. Not a bad choice, actually, for a random choice. But let's say they take all of the blues, and we're like, oh, we really wanted the blues for whatever reason. Who knows? Oh, wait, here, I forgot to give myself my random. Yeah, we really want, maybe one of the blues. Actually, we want this one. So we're kind of glad because we're going to get double points for building with the purple. So put that down like there. And then I get to collect, and with the collect action, I get to collect 1 token from each location with 2 or more. So I'm going to get 1 there. I'm going to get 1 here. And I'm going to get 1 there. I'm going to place those on there like so. And now we're going to take our second action. Now, I'm not going to go through in like an entire round, but you notice that we're not replenishing these until we get done with the round, okay? But let me show you how a build action works. And once again, I'm just going to randomly take these and place them like so. So everybody's picked theirs. And then when my turn goes, it actually, oh no, they go first with their number 8, the Expediter. They would get to build. You may build again. You must still pay for both tiles. So they would be able to build twice. Probably couldn't do that anyway, even with those 4 blues. But maybe they'd be able to, I don't know, they probably wouldn't be able to do anything on that turn. But who knows? But they probably wouldn't pick that one, or they'd just collect. Like maybe they have a carry of 3, so maybe they collect all of these green pyramids. Tough to grab sometimes. And then they place those in their warehouse. But my turn, I get to build. And so I'm going to build this token. It's going to take me 2 purple and 1 green. So we take our 2 purple, we take our 1 green, and we return that to the supply. And now I get to place this anywhere on this board as long as it fits into the board. Now, there are some like things that you want to keep in mind. And it might be a little tough to see here, but if you've covered up like certain things at the end of the game, like if you've covered up all of these red mountain tiles on your board at the end, you will gain 15 extra points. If there's 1 available, then 12 and 9 and so forth. And that you have that for each one of those types of spots on the board. Plus, you get these bonus points here, but you'll also get, if you have a set of 5 of one of each of these different types of the buildings or anything, you're going to get a bonus of 15 points. And you can get that multiple times if you can somehow get multiple sets of those particular things. But having this and being able to cover up 2 of my my mountains, like so, if I dropped it right there, I'm working towards that idea there where I'm going to be able to maybe possibly, just get more of my mountains covered, and then I'm going to get those big bonus points at the end of the game. Now, People who play Tetris obviously are going to see these like the way these things work, and they're going to be thinking about like later on they're going to be wanting to place this here and like and slowly build out to maybe cover up the other ones. You need to have some like planning where like if you placed one like this, like you'd have to have that other card, remember, that allows you to build that statue in that spot to cover up that particular spot, and so on and so forth as you build out your asteroid. Now, some pretty standard rules you have to follow, like the lines. You can't build over another one of your tiles like so. And you can't have any of your tiles sticking out into like space, so to speak, which is true. It's space because you're in an asteroid. And so, but those are pretty straightforward. And most people, anybody who's played Tetris or any kind of a tile laying game is going to understand that it is an orthogonal placement and you can't like break the rules in those sorts of ways. And so like as you build this out, you will cover up more and more, and you'll have to come up with clever ways to cover up the different spots on your particular asteroid map to get those bonus points. Now now after that's done, we'll have the refresh phase. What'll happen is that these cards will go over to this player, their cards go over to this player, their cards go over to this player, and now we get these two cards and we have them in our hand. Now here's the tricky part is that when you remember the cards that have been played, you can maybe count on the possibility that these two cards that have entered into that player's hand might eventually make their way over here. But for that matter, who knows if they ever will, because of the fact that they have certain cards in their hand and maybe they won't play those. Maybe they know they will really help the next player out a little bit. But also you'll have an idea of like the numbers of the card of those that are in there, and if you can kind of keep track of that as well, you can kind of work that into your planning, because are they going to go before me? Am I going to be able to get those resources, and so on and so forth. Now, at the part of the refresh phase also is that you replenish these particular spots. And so and then the number of players, you just take that number of resources. So we'll just go ahead and take these 4, take these 4, and you just put them back, and it's 1 for each player that is playing. So in a 5-player game, you would put in a 5-player game, you would go ahead and put in 5, 2-player game 2, and so on and so forth. These bins have a maximum, as you can see, of 7 resources in there. So if you're ever going to put more resources in there, that like if you go up to 8, you can't go up to 8. It has to stay at the 7. So after that round's done, and you also will take and you will put these tiles into those spots as needed into those locations to complete them. The game continues on for 8 rounds, and each round is exactly the same as I've just explained. And then at the end of those 8, you will total up your points based upon what you've covered up, based on this, and also the other end game scoring with like 1 of each to 15. It is a very, very clever game. It is a game that, as I said, rewards forward planning. It rewards remembering the cards that are being moved around. And also just kind of like trying to outguess and outthink your opponents and make sure that like either A, when you go, your abilities will actually help you. Like if it's something that collects resources, you're hoping resources are still there. If it's something where you're like get to build twice, you want to make sure the buildings that you want are actually there, things like that. And it can be very concerning and tension filled as you're waiting for those cards to turn over to find out exactly when you're going to go and if you're going to be able to do what you want to do. All right, so I'm going to show you the advanced cards. The big thing about the advanced cards is that the game is considered to have a day and night cycle. So the first card you play is the daytime card. The second card you play is the nighttime card. And so these cards will there will be exactly like, here's the philanthropist again, but you'll notice he has a daytime action and a nighttime action. So if you take this action during the day, this is the action you get. If you take it during the night, this is the action you get. So here he goes, you must give 1 of your resources to another player if able, and then after action you must give 2 of your resources to another player if able. So you can see that like it's slightly different as far as those are concerned. You have like here, like I do want to show you this guy. I like this guy, the cybernetic clone. Copy the ability and carry limit of the worker that just performed their action and then copy the ability and the carry limit of your first worker. So like, you know, like you can copy other people and do those things. I think that's pretty cool. And then here I'll just show you. I'll show you one more. Here, like here's the intern, and the intern, like during the day, collect after collecting, return 2 tokens from that location to the supply if able, and then build. Return in the nighttime to build. Return the other tile of the same type to the supply if able. The intern kind of screws with people a little bit, and you can actually ruin people's plans with it. So those are the advanced cards, and there are 20 of those, just like there are 20 of the normal cards. And once you play the game once or twice, I strongly suggest you dive into the advanced game. It definitely does add a lot, and it adds a lot to the planning. And I did want to show you, there is on like the section, so like the dirt tiles are actually going to, like when you cover up the dirt tiles, and which are these in the advanced game, it actually is going to cost you points. You want to like try to leave the dirt tiles alone, meaning that like you don't want to overlap into these, because the more dirt tiles you have showing at the end of the game, the more points you'll get. So just keep that in mind when you're playing it, because you know, it's just another added little change to the game when you're doing it. But that's Cosmic Colonies. That's how you play. I love this game. It's awesome. And I'll tell you about that in my final thoughts.
There you go. I do apologize. I usually do these videos late at night when everybody else is sleeping, but apparently all the other pets want to sleep but Iago. So when you heard the rustling around there in the background, that was the kitten deciding it was time to roam around the house. Why do I like this? I mean, so I was lucky enough to play test this at BGG-Con last year. And I told Ben, Floodgate Games, I said, this is a lot of fun. You know, I really hope you publish this. And I think he was already planning on doing so anyway, but if I maybe pushed him over the ledge, I'd like to believe that you can thank me once you play this game and you realize just how much fun it is. All the things that I like about games like this are here. I have moments where I get to feel smart when I get like the perfect tile, the perfect spot, and I'm able to like just cover up like a mountain spot that I really desperately needed to do. Or when I get to play a worker and I look and I'm going to get to go first because I guessed what everybody else was going to do. So I like games that make me feel clever, and I also like games that if I wasn't clever on the turn, I can still figure out something good, something cool, something awesome to do on the turn anyway, and figure out like even if somebody does take like the resource I want before I can get to it, I come up with a way to like still salvage a pretty good turn out of the deal. I like the fact that there is common knowledge as far as the different players go, and there is quiet Iago. There is lots of different moments where you can like try to outguess and outthink what other players are doing, and also try to like you think that I think that I think that you think kind of things. I like those as well. So I just everything about this, like as far as like the look of the game, the art, the very very fast paced version of it, the fact that there are the 2 separate rule sets, so I can play a version of it with my son and his friends, and also I can play a version with my gaming group and still feel challenged in both ways. I just really really dig it. Plus, like as I said, the player count of 2 to 5. So I think you're really really going to enjoy Cosmic Colonies if you like games with drafting, if you like tile laying games, and if you like games of this like kind of medium weight interaction and like planning and logistics and things like that. If you like games like that, I think you're really really going to dig this one, and I give you I heartily suggest that you take a look at it. I'm going to go I don't know, heave this cat into the sun. Shh, are you okay? Come here. She's going to just attack the shadow in the wall apparently. But there you go, Cosmic Colonies. Check it out. If you have any questions, ask away. I'll be happy to answer those as best as I can. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. Remember, be the most awesome version of you that you possibly can be every single day of your life. I guarantee you, the more love you give the universe will give more love back to you. You're awesome. I'm the Undead Viking. That is a very loud cat. I'll talk to you later.